Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news from the Groundwater Agency meeting, the Ridgecrest Planning Commission meeting tomorrow, news from NUC WD change of command this Thursday, news from Assemblyman Shannon Grove, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News Crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Waitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Last Friday evening, there was a special meeting here in Ridgecrest from the State Water Board about the startup of the Groundwater Sustainability Agency. The meeting was arranged by Kern County Supervisor Mick Gleason. There were representatives from the California Department of Water Resources and other speakers as well. The meeting was attended by well over 100 people. The DWR representative gave a presentation of the hows and whys the state passed legislation to start these GSAs. The GSAs are to be established by 2017 for critical water areas. The Indian Wells Valley is in a critical water zone. The law requires the new GSA to enact and implement a plan to stop and correct the overdraft that is happening in our valley. There are a lot of questions about this agency. While the meeting was good, it was way too short. By the time the speakers got done providing their presentations, there was only about 40 minutes left for public input and questions. The facilitator only allowed 2 questions per person. Very inadequate for a matter of this importance. In case you don't know it yet, this new GSA will have authority to enact water restrictions, to install water meters on every well in the valley, to establish fees to charge everyone in the valley to pay for their agency, and implement the correction plan. These could be high costs that may be coming. Don't think that if you're on your own well or already a customer in the water district that this GSA won't affect you. I guarantee you every resident in the valley will be affected by this plan. Questions from the public included questions on how will the people that serve on the board be selected? Will they have taxing authority? What will it cost to run this new agency? Who will have to pay for it? As well as there were some comments about the actual water situation and what to do about it. But those questions are still a little bit premature. No one at the meeting was able to answer those questions, as they will be the exact subject that the new GSA will have to take up. Here's answers to the previous questions. How will the people that serve on the board be selected? Right now, there are about 5 agencies that have a voting seat on the new agency set by the legislation. The legislation states that any agency that has authority over water and land use in the basin area is to have a voting seat on the GSA. That would include the City of Ridgecrest, Kern County, the Water District, Inyo County, and San Bernardino County. The board could include other non-voting members if it decided to. Non-voting members could include the Navy, BLM, and Cerros Valley Water District. And in direct response to public comment, it seems that the public is advocating for an elected board, not appointed. I sense that some might want to have it done by appointment. That is not good. Will they have taxing authority is the next question. Not exactly. It's a play on words. They will have fee authority. While most people don't see any difference, they are set up under certain rules. But nevertheless, there will be fees coming. I guarantee that. What will it cost to run this new agency? No one knows what it will cost to run it, but just think about it. There will be a need for a manager, a secretary, an attorney, probably contractor support. They'll need facilities and all the costs related to maintaining a facility. This will be a costly agency. Next question, who will have to pay for it? The DWR rep stated that there was some money available from the state to start up these new GSAs, but I would bet that the cost to run them will be shifted from the state to us. And one big question I posed at the meeting was, where will this new agency be based? As far as many are concerned, if this agency's purpose is to provide management of the water basin in the Indian Wells Valley, the agency better be based in the Indian Wells Valley, not in some distant location like Bakersfield or Sacramento. This board must be easily accessible to the people it will have authority over. Housing them in City Hall would be beneficial, and there's plenty of room for them in that building. This item will be the subject of my Tuesday KZGN Talking Points editorial. There is so much potential impact to us that this is going to be a very important subject in the very near future. Here's an example of a possible solution. To solve our overdraft problem, say they decide to build a pipeline from the Colorado River to here. How do you think it would get paid for? You can bet that multi-million-dollar project would have to get paid for by us. So stay involved. This is a major issue coming down the tracks like a freight train. So stand by for more information and be prepared to get involved. Tomorrow evening, the Ridgecrest Planning Commission meets at 6 p.m. in City Hall. Agenda items they'll be handling are these. There will be a public hearing to consider approving a conditional use permit, a request by Sean Barker Construction, to erect a 120-foot Wi-Fi tower on M1 zone property located at 1514 North Inyo Street. During the regular public hearing segment, the Commission will hold a pre-abatement public hearing to abate property at 127 West Wilson Avenue. Next, they'll consider a site plan review, a request by McDonald's USA proposing site, exterior building modifications, and a drive-through remodel to the existing McDonald's located at 150 North China Lake Boulevard. During the discussion and other action items part of the meeting, they'll get a presentation by Don Zadiba from the IWV Water District General Manager. He'll discuss state water mandates, the district's retrofitting the existing landscaping program, and the district's water conservation ordinance. Staff recommends cooperation and coordination by the city in all IWV-WD endeavors. Next, they'll consider a median art project, a proposal by Matarango Museum to erect petroglyphic artwork, The Cat and the Kittens by Milt Burford, at North China Lake Boulevard, Median Art Site number 5. And they'll also consider another median art project, a proposal by State Farm Insurance to erect artwork, Spirits by Skip Gorman, at the North China Lake Boulevard Median Art Site number 11. So that's what's on the Planning Commission Tuesday agenda. The meeting starts at 6 p.m. In football news from the NFL, the San Diego Chargers have announced they will be submitting their application to move to Los Angeles in January. They have proposed a new stadium in Carson. The management team said that they wanted to make it clear to all that they do intend to move to LA if the NFL approves the move. The management team also provided that 25% of their current ticket sales are to people in Los Angeles. Their fear would be that if another team moved into LA, they would take that 25% from the Chargers. They are the first of 3 teams considering a move to Los Angeles. In an interesting tidbit, the Chargers were once in LA. There hasn't been an NFL team in LA since 1995. Still considering their own moves are the Raiders and Rams. Both the Rams and Raiders are considering a new stadium in Inglewood. Both of those teams provided comment that they are still considering the move as well. That both will probably be submitting applications to move as well. So, it looks like something might really happen. At last week's City Council meeting, Admiral Moran and NOC-WD Executive Director Scott O'Neill gave a presentation to the Council. They provided information as to how the base is doing, how they have hired over 1,400 new employees in the last 2 years, and they are hiring about 400 more this year. So things are going well in the base. I have to say it was great to see the base management come out and provide this presentation. I salute NOC-WD management for this effort to communicate with the community. Admiral Moran will be leaving here as the commander this week. However, he said he is recommending to the new admiral that he too continue this outreach effort to better communication with the community. In a very important notice, there will be a change in command this Thursday, October 29th at 9 a.m. on China Lake. Rear Admiral Brian Corey will relieve Rear Admiral Mike Moran as the new NOC-WD commander. Contact NOC-WD Public Affairs Office at 760-939-3511 for more information. Now stay tuned for news from Burroughs High School when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. In exciting news from Burroughs High School, with last Friday's 31-13 victory over Apple Valley, the Burroughs High School football team will be going to the playoffs. Even though the season isn't quite over, the Burroughs got the necessary win they needed to go to the playoffs. They still have to play Lost Hills and Serrano for this season. How they do against them will determine the final place in the standings. Burroughs will be at home Friday night hosting Lost Hills, It will be a senior night at the game. I'm sure Tom Heck will have more on this in his sports segment. In news from Sacramento, government agencies are always looking for quality businesses to help them meet their needs in various state and local sites, but the contracting process can be confusing. To take the mystery out of the process, Assemblywoman Shannon Grove will hold a small business contracting forum and certification workshop to give local companies the tools they need to do business with state and local governments. Grove will also give a capital update for constituents interested in the good, the bad, and the ugly legislation coming out of Sacramento. This seminar includes a panel of government representatives who will discuss contracting opportunities offered by their corresponding agencies. The event will conclude with an optional certification workshop where a representative from the California Department of General Services will help interested participants complete the application process to be a certified state vendor. Bring your own laptop for that. Those interested in attending should contact Assemblywoman Shannon Grove's office at 661-395-2995 or email her at assemblymember.grove@assembly.ca.gov. It will take place this Friday, October 30th from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. It will be held at the Kerr McGee Center, 100 West California Avenue, right here in Ridgecrest. Participants include Department of General Services, Department of Corrections, Caltrans, and the County and Kern Purchasing Division. The event is free of charge. And again, next week will be the second annual Petroglyph Festival. This year's event will be bigger than last year's event. Last year, thousands of people attended the event. The main part will be on Balsam Street for a 2-day street fair. There will also be tours onto the base for viewing of the actual petroglyphs. There is also scheduled a time capsule to be buried at Petroglyph Park Friday. So this is the largest event Ridgecrest offers. Plan on going out. Plan to have a great day out there. In other news from the Ridgecrest Police Department, the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter has plans to build a surgery suite on the premises of the shelter since the closure of Indian Wells Veterinary Hospital. It has become very difficult to acquire appointments for many animals at the shelter that have been adopted. State law requires all shelters to spay and neuter their animals before placing them in their new homes. Shelter Supervisor Mary Stage offered these comments. Since our options in vet hospitals have decreased, we cannot get reasonable appointments for our adopted animals. The existing vet hospital is booked 1.5 months in advance for surgeries, which means an animal adopted in August will have to wait until the end of October to go to its new home. This puts us in a bind. Our kennel space is limited and we receive animals on a daily basis. It is not only impossible but also unfair to hold these animals until an appointment is available. The Ridgecrest Animal Shelter has existing rooms that we will convert into a surgery and prep room to get the animals ready before they go into surgery. We have 2 licensed veterinarians willing to come to Ridgecrest once a week, if need be, to perform these surgeries. We have all the necessary equipment and legally perform these surgeries, but we need a sterile environment, which is where your organization will hopefully come in. We are seeking donations to convert these rooms. We have received quotes from local contractors in the amount of about $16,000 to complete the project. We are requesting donations to cover, or at least offset, the cost. Tax-deductible donations may be made payable to PACT, Police and Community Together. We hope you will consider helping the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter and the animals in our care to receive the desperately needed surgery rooms. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter. If you need further information, contact them at the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter on San Bernardino County Road, or call them at 760-499-5191 or email mstage@ci.ridgecrest.ca.us. In news from the Rotary Club, the club held their annual fundraiser auction last week. The auction raised almost $1,500 for the club's community fund. This fund helps local schools, elders, and other people in need. If you're interested in helping Rotary or joining this excellent organization, you can come to attend their regular lunch. It is held every Wednesday at noon at the Clarion Inn. Just come in the door and tell any Rotary member you'd like to learn more about Rotary. Now, in KZGN continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.89 to $3.09, Lancaster from $2.69 to $2.99, the LA Valley area from $2.67 to $2.89, and the Bishop area $3.32 to $3.51. We have 4 stations coming in at the $2.89 figure. It kind of looks like the drop in prices around the region are slowing down. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay any sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay with us for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. This is Lane filling in for Keith. From the National Weather Service, the system that brought heavy rainfall and flash flooding to parts of the southern plains and western Gulf Coast over the past several days continues to push eastward, with the greatest potential for heavy rain and flash flooding on Monday across parts of the lower Mississippi Valley and southeast. There is also a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms across the region. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas at 67, Georgia at 63, Arkansas at 60, northern Texas at 63, Arizona at 82, and LA at 80. And for us locally, tonight mostly clear with a low around 57, southwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 78, southwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 59, west-northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 77, southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 55, west-southwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 68, southwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 55, west-southwest wind around 10 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 15. On Friday, sunny with a high near 70, north-northeast wind 5 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 20. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 55, north-northwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. And Saturday, sunny with a high near 76, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. And that's your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Keith. And now Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Monday evening to everyone. Let's talk about Burroughs High School right now. The Burroughs on fire. They won their third game in a row. Actually, 4 games in a row overall, but the third conference game in a row last Friday night. They beat Apple Valley 31-13 down at Bass Stadium in Apple Valley. Burroughs pretty much led the whole way. Defense looked very, very good again. Michael McKinney had 3 touchdowns, including a pick 6, 47-yard interception and run. And it was all Burroughs pretty much dominating statistics throughout the football game. Again, 31-13 Burroughs. The JV team won and the freshman team won. We'll hear from Todd Mather on Thursday night. It's senior night. They're going to honor the seniors over at Burroughs High School. We'll have the Todd Mather show from over there. You can tune in on 12:40 a.m. to listen to Todd. Next game is Friday night. It'll be here against Oak Hills. Right now, Burroughs and tied for first place in the league with 2 games remaining and then a playoff. The win guarantees Burroughs at least third place and a playoff spot coming up in 3 weeks. Okay, let's talk about the team over at Saracoso Volleyball. The Coyotes got their first league win on Friday. They defeated San Bernardino Valley in 3 straight sets. They will take to the road Wednesday. They'll play at College of the Desert. Now tonight over at Burroughs High School on Monday night, it'll be Burroughs and Apple Valley varsity volleyball. Gary Beckstrom right now, the interim head coach, as Michelle Lazaro out on maternity leave right now. Burroughs in a very good position to get a playoff spot. Okay, over the weekend, some exciting college football. None more surprising. Clemson 56 and Miami nothing. That's the worst loss in Hurricane history. Stanford beat Washington up on the farm. UCLA beat Cal. Cal was 20 in the nation. probably the biggest upset, if you want to call it that. USC, who we thought was maybe dead and gone, USC defeats Utah. Utah came in as a number 3 team in all the land. Boise State over Wyoming, other top 20 teams. Now, Michigan State got a win. They beat Indiana. It was a hard-fought game for 3 quarters, and then the Spartans pulled away. Texas playing very well again. Charlie Strong's team now won 3 in a row. They beat Kansas State down in Austin, pretty much played through a driving rain, and Oklahoma State beat Kansas. That was after they had the accident on Saturday morning during the parade in which 4 people were killed. They decided to go on with the football game. That was when the car went in to the crowd. And Oklahoma State did end up beating Kansas in that game. All right, from the NFL, the Falcons get a win. The Jaguars over in London beat the Bills. That was kind of a surprise. The New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees, 280 yards in the air. They defeat the Colts. The Dolphins just beat up the Texans badly. They actually had a 44-6 lead in that game. They end up winning 44-24. The Patriots outlast the Jets. The Rams beat the Browns 24-6. The Vikings, behind Adrian Peterson, 100 yards on the ground, beat the Lions, and the Chiefs over the Steelers. Now, probably the comeback game of the year, Washington. The Redskins have been in football for 83 years, one of the oldest organizations in the NFL. They came back from 24 points down yesterday to defeat a very good Tampa Bay team, and that was their biggest comeback ever. They were down 24-0 in that game, and they came back and won. Now, Kirk Cousins, their quarterback, was 33 of 40 for over 300 yards, 316 yards to be exact. He had 3 touchdowns in the win. Tampa Bay quarterback Jameis Winston had 2 touchdowns for Tampa Bay. And the World Series will start tomorrow night. It'll be the Mets in Kansas City in Kansas City. And on a sad note, NBA coach Flip Saunders has died of cancer complications at the age of 60. Sanders was a long-time NBA coach, also coached quite a spell in the CBA and in college. Flip Sanders dead at the age of 60. That's your sports for this Monday. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of the KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.